Hey guys, this is me, Eric. I'm going to be looking at an AOC 23-inch IPS panel. Now this IPS panel is an i2369v version of AOC. It's an IPS panel, which means end plane switching, which helps color corrections with designing logos in itself. The monitor itself is a 23-inch diagonally, of course, and in the 1920 by 810, that 1080p, sorry, with a 60 Hz resolution in frames. The screen itself has a 16 million color depth, though you're looking at something well high in between in color ranges and color depth. It has a 5 millisecond screen delay time, so it's not fairly fast but not fairly slow. It's more like in between, but that's something that, you know, if you're looking for something like a 2 to 3 millisecond, that's more something like more of a high range price compared to an IPS panel. And for instance, a TN panel would probably be cheaper, but not as great as the color angles that you're looking at. Sometimes when you look at the screen in itself, it has a fairly good type of viewpoints on different types of this monitor, and sometimes the screen in itself is that when you're looking at a different angle, you do have a different color shift. Now this one doesn't really have a really bad color shift as opposed to my other AOC monitor I bought. I forgot what model it is, but I'll have to look it up and see what that is. And then the monitor, if you're looking at the display port, it actually comes with a VGA plug and a DVI-D plug, and they both come with connectors. So there's sadly there's no HDMI connectors that's connect for an input. So naturally you would use the DVI with the HDMI cord connector. Which would solve the problem. The thing that really grinds my gears is mostly about the active display area compared to the bezel. So you'll see when you look at the screen closely and you have an active area between the border, you actually notice there's like almost like a half an inch border between the outer edge of the screen and the outer edge of the monitor itself. So that's one of the things I bought it for a reason, but you know, it's $130 or $40 for the current price I bought it for, but which isn't too bad. The bottom part of the monitor itself is actually pretty cheap. It's a flimsy plastic, well, not very flimsy, but it's very rigid actually. So if you pretty much lean on it, you're guaranteed to probably shatter it. So, but other than that, it has a Visa clamp in the back, so if you want to mount it onto the back, that's one of the ideal things I would do. If you do have room for a space, but as you can see, I barely have any more room on my desk. I can only fit like 2 monitors side by side maximum, and that's pretty much it. But other than that, it has a 250 brightness contrast. As a color contrast ratio is a 50 million to 1. That's pretty, I wouldn't say that's standardized, because each company has its own standard of deciding which contrast ratio they're deciding on. So, and that's pretty much it. It also comes with a manual, but I don't know why you need a manual for it, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Just plug in the power and plug into the inputs, and that's pretty much it, and your computer should detect it by itself. So, and that would be it for my review. Thanks guys. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and if you don't like the video, tell me why. And there's a dislike and a thumbs down button for a reason, so you know, tell me, okay? And I'll be here doing more product reviews. Thanks. Hello, dog. Do you want to go for a walk? I know you do.